GPT-4, the future is now. So OpenAI this morning just released GPT-4. Let's just dive right in what GPT-4 is and what kind of improvement it has over ChatGPT and how can you use it, how can you access it. What GPT-4 is? GPT-4 is generated pre-trained transformers. So basically, it's a super extremely powerful language model. They can do many things for you, and you're probably already very familiar with ChatGPT. And this is a model that is even better than ChatGPT. It's much better. So they even publish papers. We are not going to dive into papers today, but we're going to go through its capabilities. So you can see now GPT-4 has very strong capability. It participated in many exams, and you can see the performance compared to GPT 3.5, which is like something that's better than GPT-3 but worse than ChatGPT. So GPT 3.5 is kind of good, but GPT-4 just it's like it shows much better performance compared to GPT 3.5 in terms of many exams like GRE, many kind of SAT, they kind of things. So this kind of AI model is like no surprise, it's like already surpassed human performance so much, and GPT-4 just make it even better. Okay. So we can just see SAT math. It can do math pretty much better than 90% of people. You can see that 90 is at 89 percentile, which is crazy. Evidence-based reading and writing is 93 93rd percentile. So it's like human couldn't even compete with these language models in terms of doing math. A lot of people just say it's just a language model, it's just predict the next token. How can it do math? But I would say when you scale it to a certain extent, it could do a lot of things that we don't understand, right? It just they can do that, and we don't understand why. And some exam, writing or math, it can just do so well. Even art history, it can do quite well. All right, so that's a lot of exams, and this is a benchmark against like pretty traditional benchmark. So we can just see the state of the art compared to GPT-4. GPT-4 is much better. It just basically shows us many things in terms of 5 shots, 10 shots. Basically, the 10 shots learning means they fit 10 examples to GPT-4. Then GPT-4 will come up with, and then they'll ask GPT-4 the question. GPT-4 will come up with the answer. So a lot of crazy things. 3-shot accuracies, MNU, MMLU. It's like MLU on data sets. So we can just see the data set to get an initial sense of capability in other languages. We translate the MMLU data sets. Basically, it's a suite of multiple choice problems spanning 57 subjects into a variety of languages using basically outsourced Azure translates, using this kind of translation API and translate it to that. I don't know what it is actually. I think it's API, and then later GPT-4 do the job, and you can see it does very well on many tasks, and compared to the other things, basically other models, it's much better. So yeah. But what's actually interesting about GPT-4 is it's multimodal. So it means it can it's trained on images and the text. So it can take image as input. So you can feed it one image and ask what this image is about. So let's just read this a little bit. GPT-4 can accept the prompt of text and images. So it can be both, and it will give you something. Okay, so for example, what's funny about this image? Describe it panel by panel. So previously ChatGPT, you can only feed ChatGPT text, but now you can feed GPT-4 image and text. You can feed a mix of it. So GPT-4 will just tell you, image shows a package of lightning cable adapter with 3 panels. And you would describe the smartphone with VGA connectors. Even understand what the smartphone, this is smartphone, this is VGA connector, and what's the interaction between these two objects, which is super hard to do, and GPT-4 can do it. And there's also benchmark. You can see the vision benchmark. There's a lot of interesting benchmark, and compared to state of the art, if you just do the GPT-4, you just do zero-shot learning, a few-shot learning. Basic zero shot, you doesn't fit GPT-4 examples of how this example work, then it will perform still worse, sometimes worse than the state of the art, but sometimes better than state of the art, which is fine-tuned model. That is impressive, very, very impressive. Sometimes zero shot is like much better than state of the art model. That is crazy to me, because zero shot, that means like it didn't learn anything. It just used its original capability to do the job, and it can do much better than a lot of fine-tune, which is large model, then fine-tune on a very specific data sets to the task, but still got defeated by GPT-4. So you can see how crazy GPT-4 is. It's very crazy. If compared to few shot state of the art, it's much better, because GPT-4 is doing zero shot. So if you use the state of the art model to do few shot, not even zero shot, GPT-4 is like largely surpass the model. So GPT-4 is zero shot. GPT-4 it's bad in general, better than state of the art model in terms of vision tasks. So this is insane. That is insane. Okay, so there is some limitation of GPT-4, and they just say ChatGPT. So let's just read through this. Despite its capability, GPT-4 has a similar limitation as early ChatGPT models. Definitely, we know this. And while still a real issue, GPT-4 significantly reduced hallucination relatively to the previous models, which have improving a lot. That means GPT-4 scores 40% higher than the latest model, which is GPT 3.5. It could be Instruct GPT or ChatGPT. On the internal factuality evaluation. So it's like 40% more factual than ChatGPT. That is crazy. That is crazy to me, because ChatGPT already very factual, but Instruct GPT is already very factual, but GPT-4 is much better. That is insane. That is means this model is much better than ChatGPT. Already very impressive model. How can this model be so impressive now? So really want to know this. You can see the factuality, learning, technology, different domains. In different domain, the factuality is like much higher, significantly higher. Accuracy on the adversarial questions. So it's basically trying to attack these models, and can see model if can answer correctly. A model can do better, which is this GPT 3.5 Turbo is ChatGPT. So GPT-4 is better. I cannot imagine a model that's better than ChatGPT. Right. Sometimes they'll show you GPT-4 answer incorrectly or correctly. That's interesting example. So let's just keep looking at something incorrect behavior rate on disallow and the sensitive content. So it's like much better to in terms of answer disallow and then sensitive content. It will reject that, and it's like much better protection in terms of this kind of content. So using ChatGPT-4, it's much safer. It's reduce the rate of response to those malicious contents. You just don't respond to you. So they say claim this is much better. So for example, somebody asked this kind of where can I find cheap cigarettes, and GPT-4. Early GPT-4, they will just say something, and final GPT-4 will just what does this mean? Early GPT-4, they just say, oh, I can now endorse the promoting smoking, but it is harmful for you. But however, if you are looking for low price cigarette, maybe you think it's kind of okay to do it, but you just give you some information, but just say, oh, this is not good, instead of just saying you shouldn't do it. So overall, the model level intervention increase the difficulty of this bad behavior, but doing so it's possible. Okay, training process. It doesn't actually disclose too much training process. It's very disappointing, these things, because we couldn't say too much. But predictable scaling. This is how they scale. How you can scale this model, and I believe they'll be available soon. Now you can only join a wait list. You couldn't really use it, but they're going to release API soon. Funny thing is, there's ChatGPT Plus subscriber will means that ChatGPT Plus subscribers, they can get GPT4 access on chat, which is very tempting. I want to subscribe it now. Now, previously I was just a free user. I mean, individually, so they will just kind of rate. So if you are a subscriber, you can use it. An API to get access to ChatGPT 4 API, which is this, which use the same way as track completions, as this GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is ChatGPT. Please sign up for the waitlist. I can't wait. This is so disruptive. You can see many people, many jobs will be replaced by GPT-4. Yeah, this is just crazy. So let's just call a video here. I will release more videos about their use cases, because a lot of companies already try GPT-4 for a few months beforehand, so they have some use cases. I want to show you that so that you can know what kind of product you may want to build. So that's GPT-4 initial assessment. It's crazy things, insanely good. Unfortunately, they didn't disclose how many parameters are there, because they say it's too competitive here in terms of generative AI. They don't want to disclose too much, because other big guys like Google, Facebook may catch up, which is not good. I think it's like transparency is in this field, machine learning, generative AI, it's gone. There's no transparency at all. It's not what we want to see, because these areas, this line of research has always been so transparent, right? So this is a little bit very disappointed. Other than that, it's still a very good AI. It's just a little bit crazy. Like, we couldn't try it out now. Because we're kind of a little bit spoiled, because we expected when they announced, you can immediately use it, right? But anyway, that's my thought about GPT-4, and there's more coming. If you would like to receive more of these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you next time.